MTG Arena. As it's kind of just been what I sort of default to lately when the stream doesn't quite reach the 5 hour mark. Well, not 5 hours. At least I don't think I could do a 5 hour stream, at least not with the schedule I've currently got for it. I'd have to start like a couple hours earlier or something. The new season started, so I dropped back down to Diamond 4. And I also have time to do a third thing tonight. I need like maybe some AI dungeon or something. I've got about 2 hours to kill. Right now, I'm just gonna do some rank standard with my usual deck. Right, got 3 lands, so already looking decent. 2 temples, a door in line, 4 forces intervention, Dragonfire, Gathering, Prinko. Seems good. Just got a temple. I'll put that on the bottom. Shit. I may have messed up one thing. Yes, I did in fact do one important thing that I failed to update the stream category. Right. Which I was able to do that from the mobile dashboard. So I didn't even have to like open up a web browser. Looks like they're playing Life Game. Because of course, it's always gotta be somebody playing a black-white Life Game. Got a Goblin Gathering, got a couple of boys. And here comes the Giant's Pride Mate, of course. Fortunately, as much as it's a 4/4 now, you can just hit Temple of Malice, then Perforce's Intervention for a total of 3, and it's gone. Fortunately, I've drawn Tybalt, which pretty much is in this deck specifically to counteract Life Game decks. I mean, they've also got flyers, so and one that they've just beefed up on top of that, so I'll play him anyway. Because that way they won't be gaining any life until they get rid of him. which unfortunately is very fast this time. But hey, even with them killing it, them still stop him from getting some life. It's like, he did his job a little. Things are not looking good. Especially since, you know, we've got Heliod as a creature. And Conclave Tribunal. If we can just draw like a Storm's Wrath or something, then that'll deal with their creatures right there. Unless they can like bump up Healer's Hawk by one more. They can also pay all of my mana, kill Heliod, and gain 6 life from it. Since while he's indestructible, he can die through a state-based action from having 0 or less toughness. Sure, go ahead. Spend a Conclave Tribunal and get rid of a single goblin. I would have liked that to have been something. You know, anything other than a land would probably be good right now. Especially Chandra or Storm's Wrath. Hope I can duress them. So I now know they have a giant killer in hand. But since I didn't get Storm's Wrath or Chandra, that's pretty much it for that whole match. So try again. Could probably also do like a draft sometime tonight as well. Keep 7. Because as long as it's got at least 3 lands, it's at least passable. Or I guess the proper term is keepable. Losing 1 life, well, losing 2 life so that I can gain 1 and get rid of that Scorch Spitter right away. This is clearly an aggro deck, so you need to act fast. Fortunately, I've got all 3 of my colors by turn 3. Gonna use my other Erebos' Intervention, get rid of that Ginger Brute. And here comes the Fervent Champion. Now the fervent champion is dead. Just had to wait a turn to kill him because I didn't have. No boy, it's Turan. Well, fortunately, I've got the right mana to use Mortify. I guess I can just get him out of the way real fast. Well, now I wish I had one of my Erebos' interventions left. It's about the only thing I can do to a Brash Taunter. Unfortunately, attacking is just gonna end up with me getting hurt instead. And since I'll just block with the Taunter. I also shouldn't swing with Krenko either, because if I do, that just means the Taunter will be able to fight him to deal more damage to me. Gonna block all three of those places. At this point, like that, I just did not have any tools for dealing with that Taunter, so I kind of ended up expending them all on dealing with other threats, because this deck only runs 2 Erebos. This is interventions, and there's no other ways of dealing with things with indestructibility. It's got early plays, but only 2 lands, so I'm gonna mulligan it. Keep this one. Fairway, Duress. Oh, I know this game plan. So I'm gonna sort of nip that whole issue in the bud. Granted, admittedly, I probably could have gone for the Underworld Dreams instead. That could have stopped them from, you know, dealing damage to me every time I draw. And it hurts their chances of being able to get some Hunter Black Devotion stuff going. Right. Temple of Malice. Keep the Skewer. Swing with both goblins. Well, at least Krenko's got a better chance of survival. despite not being able to get his ghost form on yet. We've got one less possible, and of course they've still got plenty because, you know, it's mono black. So of course they've still got plenty of ways to kill all my creatures. Hey now. Now if they want to use a kill spell, they have to expend it on a 2/2 goblin. But you couldn't even Heartless act them right away. Maybe because this has got counter. Whereas you have to like pair Heartless Act with another kill spell. Well, not another kill spell, but another Heartless Act. Now we've got 7 and black mana, effectively. Yeah, let's see that. Another Underworld Dreams. And here comes Gary. I'm not dead yet. Surprisingly. However, I am dead via the 2 Underworld Dreams. So that's 2 losses so far this evening. Play 3. I think I'll go for one more round with this deck, then switch to a different one. And if this ends up being another loss, and it's another life gain deck. Just gonna lava coil that right away. Cavalcade. Now we've got Heliod. Just gonna gather the goblins. We've got Revenge of Ravens. Play Krinko and hope they don't kill him. Unfortunately, I mean, I do have spells in this deck that can kill enchantments. Just have to draw them and the mana to cast them. So far, all I've gotten is red mana. Out of the 3 whole colors in this deck, it's just been red. I mean, that's deck's primary color, but still not great. You know what? Swing with Krinko. Sure, I'll get hit for 1. they also gain one. So they also lose life, and it doesn't matter how powerful Heliod get. It's as long as I keep them from gaining enough devotion to make them a creature. And there goes Krinko. Much as expected. And I'm continuing to draw cards that need black mana. And no black mana. Oh, there we go. I can cast everything in my hand now. Gonna destroy that. War boss is actually bad right now because of the Revenge of Ravens. Yeah, War boss doesn't give you the option to not attack with the goblins it makes. Admittedly, they'd be... No, I would even out because they're still gaining life. I'd need Tybalt in order for them to not need either Tybalt or Mortify before I can start attacking profitably. Because while each of my creatures effectively deals 2 damage, I still need they still gain 1 life from each one, so actually hold on to that just in case I make Heliod a creature. And 1 mana Perforce's Intervention instead. Right now, definitely not attacking with everybody right now. Right now, my attacks, so basically the Revenge of Ravens neutralizes the damage from one Cavalcade, in addition to dealing 1 damage to me for each creature. Second Cavalcade is good, because now I can swing with all of my creatures, and as long as I don't die from it, like as long as I don't die from it or they die first, currently my creatures will deal a total of 16 damage to them. I can probably risk some war bosses now. Oh well, fuck you too. Really? Even with losing all of my tokens, the main thing is that I've got enough cavalcades to make up for the life gain. course, they're still gaining life, so anything they have that triggers upon them gaining life is gonna trigger. So I need to, for instance, deal with any giant sprite mates. And we've got another Revenge of Ravens. Oh, okay, thank you. That actually helps me. Because now I can actually just intentionally kill off my own creature. So now I no longer have to attack with any goblins. I've got Chandra on my hand, so I can just play her and go ahead and get rid of that giant sprite mate. -2ing her, deal 2 damage to target a creature or planeswalker. Well then. Good thing I've got a goblin. Yep, fair. And now the goblin's dead. And Chandra's probably gonna follow it too, yep. Alright, that's gonna be it for that match. Right now, I think I'll play with my more just sort of fun decks. Because I do have a deck that's just sort of named the God Killer. Because this entire thing is that it forces you to draw, it hurts you for drawing cards while forcing you to draw cards. And it was specifically built to counter, like cycling decks. Because like, oh, you like drawing cards, huh? Have fun with that. So basically, its whole game plan is just to keep them from casting things while putting more things in their hand. And hurting them every time they draw cards. Unfortunately, we've already got an Ember Cat out. How about no? How about instead you mill some cards? Hopefully it had Ashiok out. Then they wouldn't have been able to search for the library. Once you got Essence Scatter, so they try and cast a creature and just counter it. Wait. Got swamp. So I can like things like Ashok's Erasure. Yeah, not that concerned about, well, a 0/3 elemental. Now that I don't like the looks of. Neural Dreams. Start getting, you know, slow, painful death myth going. Oh, now they've given all their elementals +1/+0. So now the Leafkin Druid can actually deal damage. I think I'll get rid of that real quick. Fortunately, I don't have the mana to do much of anything else. Ritual of Soot would be good right about now. Get rid of all but one of their creatures. You know what? Well, let's try that again. This is mostly just a fun deck, not really competitive deck, so expect some failures from it. Right. Got 3 lands, Essence Scatter, Folio, Ashiok, and Underworld Dreams. Looks like a good hand to start with. And they're also playing blue. And they're playing Cycling. At least, or at the very least, they have cards with Cycling in their deck. So maybe it's time for this deck to finally achieve its destiny of being the biggest pain for a Cycling deck. I mean, Ashiok's a good start. Because one of the big ways that Cycling decks tend to win is by having, by doing something like dealing damage equal to the number of cards with Cycling in your graveyard. Can't do that if your graveyard's completely empty. Because now they can play a creature without no fear of Essence Scatter. Well, I mean, they don't even know I have Essence Scatter. They can just be fairly safe in their assumption that I have counter spells. Oh, by all means, increase your card drawing abilities. Good thing I got rid of that Teferi. Oh, they're playing Mill. But it's card draw based Mill. So, I probably don't care that much about having cards with cycling in their graveyard. But they're definitely gonna care about losing life every time they draw a card. Like, you know, right now, I mean, this deck can also mill. That's just not its primary purpose. And its primary purpose is to basically make cycling based decks life hell. Yes, it's absolutely draw more cards. Granted, I am getting milled, so like it's basically a race to see whether they die or I get milled out first. And like they did get a head start on milling me out. And they also have 3 Teferi's tutelages. Those out now. So I'm getting hit from mill total of 12. Just gotta play out Nixilis. Granted, I'm probably gonna be milled out by the end of this turn. They can also only draw so many cards this turn. Without potentially dying. Even if they draw even one more card, I'm milled out, so... And there's that one more card. Of course, they decide to push it. So they're not going to, of course, because that means risking losing. I mean, it actually got to somewhat do its thing for once. So let's go again. And after this match, probably draft. Wait. 4 lands, plus some counter spells and an unsummon. Down on the bottom. Fortunately, I don't really do much with my graveyard, so. But you not get another creature pretty much right away. Again, no. Underworld Dreams. And Nixilis. So they're going to be losing 2 life at every card they draw. Unless they get rid of him because via that asshole. Just gonna cast him again. Really, they made no real attempt to actually stop me. They didn't hold up any lands for counterspell. Right? And start discarding some cards. Unfortunately, Nixilis can't do anything to Planeswalkers.
Try not to think too hard.
We'll discard Unsummon. Kill Present Borrower. Hurts him for another 4 damage.
I am your inner demon. Suffer the dreams of the damned.
I mean, even if the game Liliana's emblem, all they can really do is just bring in creatures back from the graveyard. They do gain haste, so I mean, if we don't have a kill spell on hand, then they will live long enough to actually attack on Nixilis, for instance. Or attack me, whichever they choose to go with. And sure, I wasn't even using that. And Frozen Burrow can just go away.
Knowledge
so. And they took away my drag to the underworld.
I really don't care about your plans.
However, if they play a creature that doesn't, can't like kill Obnixilis or bounce him back to my hand, they're pretty much dead. Especially now that I've got hopefully another Underworld Dreams names on the field. And they got rid of both of them, effectively, by bouncing one and countering the other. All that does is buy them a little bit of time. You know, got maybe 5 turns. They've got longer because if they get Liliana's emblem at some point, they can just kill Obnixilis easily. Or I can just have them peer into the abyss if I could gain some mana for it. So I guess I won't be doing that. So I have just barely not enough mana for it. And of course I bounced Obnixilis. And here comes the fairy, because of course every blue deck has to play him.
Consider this graveyard my barracks.
Right. So you can either play Ashiok and bounce it back. I'll go for Obnixilis. And just kill it. Although they'll be able to kill him next turn. Like they're also almost dead, so of course that's assuming they don't just go for my face. I mean, not going for my face would be a bad decision on their part, because and not going for Obnixilis would be a bad choice on their part. A bad choice that they made. Like, they literally opted to... Oh, well, they still got rid of Obnixilis anyway. And my appearance of the Abyss, which wasn't gonna do a whole lot anyway, because I need to Obnixilis or the Underworld Dreams to make it actually useful anyway. However, I can use their own Wishclaw Talisman against them by using it to search up an Obnixilis to then use to kill Cavern Whisperer, forcing them to draw 2 cards. So the next turn they'll probably kill off Nixilis again, but they'll be down to 1 life. Because they used their Wishclaw Talisman for the last time, because now it no longer has any wish counters on it. I mean, if they don't kill Nixilis, then they don't kill me or Rob Nixilis, and that's it. And they just barely kill me. Got extremely close to actually winning with this dumb deck. Say that's currently draft is currently Dominaria. I don't play Historic enough to really have much use for Dominaria cards. I guess more standard it is. Like Disdainful Stroke, Folio Fancies, and Didn't Say Please. Seems like a decent starting hand. Swamp and Pass. It's a ramp deck. I don't need them having the ability to get rid of my artifacts and enchantments, so gonna get rid of that. Plus it made them waste a food token. Probably could have actually played something in that turn. And since they had no way of getting something that Disdainful Stroke could have actually countered. That was that, or the Folio was about all I could cast on that turn. Nope. Looks like it's not ramp, it's sacrifice. Or sacrifice ramp, possibly. I don't even know if that's an archetype that exists currently. Just gotta get Folio out. And they just give up. So it looks like it was actually looks like it would have actually been an especially good call to not worry about that Disdainful Stroke, because they probably just couldn't get the 4th mana. So this time, with 2 lands, a bunch of 3 mana stuff, so mulligan, keep 6 instead. Island, playing aggro, swamp, Or perhaps they're playing elementals because I mean you've got Chandra's regulator, which means they've got Chandra somewhere. They're also playing Radiant Fountain, apparently. And counterspell. I'll play a folio and hope that the next thing you cast is a creature. Not say another Chandra. Or absolutely nothing. You know, for them to cast absolutely nothing on their turn is also good. Because then I don't have to worry about counter spells at all. Yeah, sure, by all means, draw more cards. Granted, can't, it's not gonna hurt them yet. Gonna counter that real quick. Really do something about how that Scorch better. Right now I've got Underworld Dreams out. So I've got plenty of mana for my multitude of counterspell options. Of course, it's entirely possible that they could play the one Chandra that can't be countered. So far, just hitting me with the same Scorch Spitter over and over. I'll let that happen and just counter whatever they cast through it. But that's a much better 6-mana Chandra. Because it's one that can actually be countered. You wouldn't have got Peer into the Abyss now. So I just need one more mana. And with that 134 cards left in their library, the Peer into the Abyss would be instant death. And as long as I've got Underworld Dreams or Ob Nixilis out. Yeah, sure. Draw cards. Another more Underworld Dreams. Hopefully, they'll cast something. If they cast anything, it'll be CMC 3 or less. So they can counter it with Hypnotic Sprite's Mesmeric Glare. Although even better would be not countering anything and arguably, because then I can just draw a card for the folio. Which they aren't drawing, which they aren't playing anything that I can counter, so come on, land. Nope. Not land. We've got Fiery Emancipation and a 2/2 dwarf with lifelink. They do have the ability to hit me real hard. Well then. I'm so close too. We're so very close. Just one land is all I needed. Let's try again. Right. For lands, unsummon, Ashiok, and direct to the underworld. Seems like good hand. Temple Deceit. Keep this Essence Scour up top. Essence Scour the Healer's Hawk. I think they're gonna be playing flyers, as there's normally not blue in just like black-white life gain. Most likely either some kind of Esper life gain or flyers. And there's my confirmation. That is exactly what they're doing. And they just give up. Like they see Ashiok and give up. And I did mill some pretty good cards from the library, so I think I'll probably mulligan this one. I mean, I don't really need multiple clear the mines and sorry, hand. Can mulligan that one as well. Keep this one. Probably keep the Underworld Dreams. Because, you know, the deck kind of needs it to really get going. Another thing that would be good for this deck to get going is getting some lands that can enter untapped without hurting me. Particularly ones that produce blue mana. There's Veto, because of course they're playing a new life game. Just gonna counter that, because I actually have the mana for a counter spell now. World Dreams. Of course, they immediately mortify it. They do not have anything to really do, you know, to stop creatures that are already out on the field. Like, the best thing I can do, you know, at this point is get Ritual of Soot. Because I'll kill literally all of their creatures. Actually, that also works. Yeah. Can't concede at that point. I think I'll call it for Arena for tonight. So, now what else could I stream? Because I've still got an hour if I want to push forwards and go for a full 3 hours. And I think given that I started late, I'm just gonna call it here. A little shorter, mostly because CK2 was way shorter than usual. Since, you know, it's previously gone on for like 4 hours because I decided to stay streaming long enough to conquer entire countries. Thank you all for watching. Next stream will be Tuesday night with Talisman. And I'll be revealing the results of the Reformation polls next Saturday at the start of the CK2 stream. And then I'm gonna find somebody to raid. It's either during CK2 or Arena. probably CK2 because that's honestly like the most sort of overall popular stream that thing that I've been streaming. It's like admittedly both, well, that and Arena, but like as far as things I do as like a full-on series, CK2 is the most overall popular since it's somewhat less niche than Talisman and the original Age of Wonders. Anyway, raid these people. Hopefully they're cool. And thank you all for watching. Again, next stream will be Tuesday night as usual.